Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Ellis County Commission meeting. All capable, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the clerk please call roll?
Commissioner Neil Younger,
Present.
Chair Nathan Liker,
Here.
Commissioner Michael Burgess.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, are there any changes to the order of business? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our prior minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look through those?
Yes.
Good? Okay. Moving on to our consent agenda. Any questions or comments over that?
I have none. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda, items A through G.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to the public. Anyone from the public wish to speak that is not on the agenda? Seeing none, we'll move on. Monthly departmental report. Has everybody had a chance to read through that?
Yes.
Any comments or questions?
No?
I don't.
I will make one comment. We did see a lull in our jail population there in September, and that lull, it seems to be over. We had 5 inmates housed out of county for the entire month of October. So that was a short-lived. Okay. And EMS is still continuing to see an average of 10 and 12 runs a day, over 300 runs a month. So, okay. Moving on. UTV replacement for noxious weeds.
Morning, Commissioners. Brendan McKay, Ellis County Public Works Director.
Good morning.
Okay. Making sure they could hear me back there, so it was working right. So earlier this month, we had a rollover accident in our UTV that was out spraying at pasture with 2 employees in it. Originally, we thought the damage was minimal, maybe an A-arm that got tweaked. As we got turned down further, the damage was quite extensive to the machine. So we reached out to BOS and brought the machine there to have an evaluation done on it for repair costs. So the repair cost is just over $17,700. With the money we could get from K-Camp for replacing it or repairing it, and then the additional, if we trade the machine into them, they have a buyer lined up that buys wrecked machines and repurposes them. The total cost of the county would be just over $7,000 for a new machine. We would like to pursue this option because it would get the machine back in service the quickest. They're over a month out for the repairs if we did the repairs through them. And that's not saying they couldn't find more and it would be held back further. This machine's used to spray and treat noxious weeds along county right-of-ways and in pastures. It's also used during the winter season for plowing snow at the county properties. So with the moisture we've been getting here this month, it's pretty unseasonable. And potentially carrying on into December with some colder temps, we might get snow. Not having that UTV to be able to plow the county parking lots and county properties out that the noxious weed staff helps building grounds with, we'd be in a pretty tight spot. So we'd like to recommend going forward with the replacement machine and trading off the damaged machine.
Okay. Comments or questions from my fellow commissioners?
I think it's a good move, because especially if we're not having the whole thing go on across, then there could be some stress cracks that we don't see without doing a lot of extensive money spending on it.
Yeah, and so that estimate was what they had found from just an initial inspection. So there could be more
There
that's
could be
tweaked
more.
or damaged as they disassembled to replace portions of the machine.
How many hours are on this machine?
I
This is
believe-
2021, I believe, that we're going to replace?
Believe it's roughly 350 hours.
333.
Okay. About how many miles?
3100, I
3,100 miles, 333 hours.
Okay. What is our current plan for keeping, we have two of these machines, correct?
We have one at Noxious Weed, the other one is shared with Buildings and Grounds and the Landfill Environmental Department.
Okay. So I guess what is our current replacement schedule for keeping these up to date? And
On these machines, I'd like to see a 5 or 6 year turnaround on them. That's where you still have value in the machine to trade it in, but you're not gotten into the extensive repairs of the machine.
okay,
So there's still some good left in the machine. You're going to get good value for it. That will help bring down the cost of a new machine. And you're not getting into those timely and costly repairs at that portion of the time.
okay,
I would like to see us, when we do either trade it, I'd like to see us try to sell it outright. I think we could get more value out of it, just speaking from experience.
Well, for us to sell it outright, we'd have to use an auction site to sell it
Okay.
that way.
That's fine.
With this one being damaged,
Right.
there's a buyer lined up. The price is very fair for a damaged machine. They're offering $7,500 for trade-in. That's what the individual had reached out to us. They've already looked at the machine.
Right. I'm just saying
Yeah,
in the future. Yeah.
We can do that.
To look forward, yep.
And the reason we're recommending the Polaris versus a Can-Am or CF Moto is the attachments for the snowplow and everything will just transfer directly to this machine. We wouldn't need to fabricate new mounts or purchase new mounts and get the machine back in service, and it'd be same controls as the machine is currently.
okay.
And they have them in stock, was the other big thing.
Okay. Any questions, Michael?
So the spray equipment itself, it can go on this machine. It was not damaged in any way with the accident?
There was some slight damage to the spray equipment, but that can be repaired. The big thing is the snowplow and the mounts will move over directly to this new machine.
And the employees were okay?
Some have a slight injuries, so, but one's on light duty for now, but
Good.
no,
And was this on it says a pasture, was it on our property or somebody
no,
else's
they were
that we going?
spraying,
Okay.
for Canada thistle over just west of the feed lot.
Any liability on that on our part of
Not that I'm aware of,
damage or anything? Okay,
just the workers' comp claim for the employees that suffered.
okay.
So none of our employees got any chemical on them, and like Michael said, that, what's the after thing if a bunch of it spilled?
I'll leave this for
Okay,
Gary to
that's
explain.
fine.
I was out of
No.
town when it happened, so
Okay.
Gary can explain better.
No, as for the chemical, I mean, it all stayed in
Okay.
the unit, and we got that pulled out of there right away, and so that was all okay. And no, I mean, that's one of the things we have to do is take care of noxious weeds on this. The weed we were after, Canada thistle, we don't have a huge amount of it in the county, and where we do have it, we just take it on ourselves to treat it so we don't have more of it and where it gets widespread. And that's why we were doing that. And we have, I don't know, we had about a dozen places here in that time frame that we were running around and spraying. So,
Okay, any further questions?
I'll move to approve the purchase order of the 2025 Polaris Ranger XP 1000 North Star from Boss Motors.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on, we have Emergency Services Security.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mike Leiker, Ellis County IT Director.
Good morning.
It's going to be the Mike show for a little while here. First item is the security equipment quote. We have been looking at the camera systems at the Emergency Services Building, and we have cameras inside in the lobby and in the basement, but there's still some areas that needed some further coverage. So IT went over and did an assessment and determined that we needed, looks like 10 cameras. to get good coverage in the bay areas, the EMS bay and the fire bay. So we put together a list of equipment that we would need, and we could do the installation ourselves. Some of the cabling is already there from the original pull. We'd have to add some cabling, but overall, it's a fairly, I was actually pleased to see the prices come in where they were. Cameras are getting more expensive every day, but the total project for those 10 cameras would be $8,650.58, and that's all being purchased online, which is where we get most of our stuff these days. So just asking for approval to move forward with that camera project at the Emergency Services Building.
Okay, and this will watch both internal and observe external, outside the building?
Yes, that's correct. We'll, like I said, there are some internal cameras already being recorded, and this will tie into that same system. We'll have to expand the licensing on that to add for the additional cameras, but it will record on motion, so anytime there's something going on, it'll record. And that'll get pretty good coverage out in the parking lots and in the bay areas, and as well as what's already being recorded inside.
And this is a similar system to what we've had at the Health Department, admin, and at the Public Works, I believe.
Identical, yeah.
Okay,
All the same equipment, so.
okay. And it's come in pretty handy here lately at the Health Department, I believe.
Yeah, things happen, and
Yeah.
it's good to know what happened when we just go back to the camera, and we've had police department come and ask us about video on Main Street and 8th Street. Stuff happens in the community. Sometimes we see it on the cameras, so it's helpful to have that. It helps protect us, it helps protect our employees and the public as well, just to make sure that we have safety and security, and in some cases we see what we might need to fix, and other things, it's one of those it happens kind of thing. So yeah, I think we'll have really good coverage at the Emergency Services Building, and be able to feel confident in what we've got.
Okay. Any comments or
No,
questions?
as long as you're happy with it, and we got a, service if it's needed, so, but we've got them in the system already, so,
Yeah, I'm happy.
good.
Any concerns, Michael?
Nope. I'll move to approve the upgrade of the security system at the Emergency Services location in the amount of $8,650.58.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I guess I should have stopped. Danita, is there any concerns from you on this? No. Okay.
I walked through it with them when we looked at everything.
Okay. Good deal. Thank you. I apologize for not recognizing you earlier. Next on the agenda is NOMIC Managed Network Detection and Response Solution. Mike, you're up.
Okay, the next one is a security device or a collection of devices to basically do digitally and virtually what we just talked about with cameras. It's going to watch our network, basically on the outside, what's coming in, and on the inside, what's going on within our network. Just in case something is already in there, this will alert us to any kind of nefarious or unusual activity. It has some AI built into it, so it can kind of determine what trends are and keep an eye on those things, all the traffic, the network traffic. So this is the one, I think probably the one final piece that I've been really wanting to get in place so that we have a better idea of what's going on. We've put a lot of things in place to protect us, and we have reports that we can run, but I never feel confident that we're truly seeing everything that's going on. Now we can watch it live. It can watch while we're at home in bed. It'll wake me up if there's something bad going on. So this is one of the final pieces of the puzzle. There's never a final piece, but with cybersecurity, you always got to be doing something. But they pivot, so we have to pivot. But this product I've been looking at for quite some time. I've been to the last couple of conferences that I've been to over the couple of years, I've spoken with these folks, and some of my peers throughout the state are using it, and they're very happy with it. So, you know, I think that this will be a good addition to our security posture. So, and Nomic is kind of the only game in town for this particular device. So, the total price on that, which includes the setup, the hardware, and the subscription for 1 year, is $26,208.10. So I'm asking for approval of the PO 7855 for the purchase of this security appliance and software.
Okay. Mike, quick question. This will somewhat protect us, or at least monitor from somebody trying to upload. Say we have a disgruntled employee, if they want to upload or cause damage from the inside.
Exactly.
This will isolate us.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes
It'll protect our consumers, more or less the
Right.
public.
it'll protect our data that we have internally from destruction or from leaving. You know, always worry about PII leaving our confines. One of the main ways that people, the bad actors get in is through an email that somebody clicks on an attachment. Sometimes the attachment, you click on it, it doesn't do anything. But what it's really doing under the covers is embedding itself in your network somewhere, just sitting and waiting and kind of collecting information. And then at some time in the future, it triggers off. It's called a 0 day, and it'll start doing something. And we may never know it's there until it's done its bad things. So this will detect those things. It may not, if it knows about it, it'll say, hey, you just downloaded something and it went on your network. If it doesn't know about what it is, when that kicks off, it's going to see it, and that AI is going to kick in, and it's going to say, we need to stop that because it's encrypting data or it's sending data out. It'll recognize that and it'll stop it. So that's the piece that I was always a little uncomfortable with, is what's going on already inside of our network. So
Okay.
they call that east-west traffic. North-south traffic is in and out from the internet. East-west is what we're watching inside our network. So yes.
Okay.
Sorry, that was a long answer to your short question.
No, that's fine. I appreciate the answer, though. Thank you.
And there's no other vendors out there, Mike? You said you've been studying this.
Not
one
that'll
for-
do this.
Okay.
There are others that do, we have other applications, other solutions that do a lot of the other things. And the other vendors, they'll do this too, but they do all that other stuff that we already have. The solution we have doesn't have this particular piece, or it doesn't do it well. And so this is an addition to what we've already got in place. We could forklift that out and go with another application that did this, but then we'll lose something else that we already have. So this is like an add-on to what we've already got.
Okay.
So
Very good.
I'll move to approve the PO number 7855 in the amount of $26,208.10 to Nomic for the managed network detection and response solution.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
thank you.
Do you need a chair?
My watch was already telling me to stand up this morning, so this is good.
Okay, next we have IT office desk replacements.
Yes, so when we remodeled this building, 2015, whenever it was, 2014, when the bank left, when they abandoned the building and gave it to us, there were several desks left in the building, and they were pretty nice desks. They were wooden, solid wooden desks. They didn't have the fake laminate on them. They were wood. And we gathered them all up and moved them into IT, and everybody else brought their own or whatever they did. So that was 15 years ago, and they were built in, I found a sticker on there, like 1982. So they're pretty old desks. We're going to try and, if this is approved, we're going to try and give them to a local agency that refurbishes them if they want it. You know, so we don't just haul them to the landfill. But the returns on these desks were built for the old IBM Selectrics, and so they're 4 inches lower than the desktop. We don't really do that anymore. We use that work surface for putting computers on and things like that. So a lot of my staff are sitting way down low to get their legs under those desks. So we'd like to replace all those desks with new desks. And Tri-Central, came in and looked at what we needed and had gave us a really good deal on those. So I'm asking for, I believe it was 5 desks. 5 desks with returns and pedestals for drawers. So,
Okay.
any questions?
My only comment, just for public, or somebody's like, desks are working fine, they're good, but this is coming out of ARPA funds. These are funds from the COVID relief that need to be spent by the end of the year anyway, so this isn't taking necessarily tax dollars out of our budget over this year or next year to replace things that are functional. This is just part of an upgrade through ARPA funds.
Thank you for that clarification. I'm sorry I didn't mention that. All of these proposals are from ARPA funds, so.
Correct. Thank you for bringing that up, Michael. Any comments, Commissioner Younger?
Do any of our employees use the stand-up?
Yes,
Okay.
there are some that are using them. Do you have any in the clerk's? The appraiser has a couple. There might be 1 or 2 in the treasurer's office. And then, there are other agency, or other departments that I think there's some being used.
Okay,
So,
all right, thank you.
And I'll also comment, I commend you I have an idea what organization you're sending it to, and I think that's a good idea to send wooden things to an organization that can use them beyond that instead of landfilling it, so.
yeah, there's plenty in the landfill already.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that, go ahead.
I move to approve the PO 7856 in the amount of $3,205 to Tri-Central Office Supply for office desk replacements.
Seconded.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you. The last item I have is for wireless access point upgrade. When we moved in, we put several wireless access points in the building and throughout the organization, actually. We now have full coverage for wireless in every building that we have for our staff, and actually in several cases a guest Wi-Fi. Those devices need to be upgraded because of security. They have new security protocols, encryption protocols out. These devices can't handle that new encryption. Plus, some of them are 5 years old. So we were looking at doing a blanket replacement of all of our wireless access points. There's about 40 of them. I think that's what we're ordering. This will ensure that our wireless has the best security that we can get in them with the new wireless encryption. So I'm asking for approval to purchase 40 wireless access points from SHI for $13,200. Any questions?
Mike, so we have all these in here already in the county. How often, I mean, you said 5 years, is that pretty normal every 5 years, or is it every 3 to 5?
3 to
type?
5 years, yeah. Most devices will handle the upgraded encryption for 3 years. When they get to 5 years, it's planned obsolescence. They want you to buy new equipment. So they don't support the new security in the older devices. This is actually our second upgrade of the wireless devices. The first time we did them piecemeal, but we got them all replaced. And so now some of them were new, kind of like when we do new buildings, like the Public Works building. We've already planned to buy those new ones for that building. And so then we're just matching what we're putting up there. And that's how we've done it in the past as well. So, yeah, 3 to 5 years is about the max for any technology, really. But, as far as security goes, they know when it's time for you to buy new equipment because they plan for it. So,
Got it.
not to sound too cynical.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions?
So over the years, Mike, is placement have a good play in this part, or is it just a replace?
They'll be just a rip and replace.
Okay.
Everyone will go right back where the old one was. We've got the coverage down pretty well, to where, there aren't any weak spots. I mean, there are. I mean, like if you go over here, you might not get a great signal, but nobody's out there. So, yeah, we've got pretty good coverage. All we need to do is pull the old one off, pop the new one on. The mounting brackets, I think, match up. I have to ask Lori. I can't remember. Yeah, I don't think we're ordering any mounting brackets. So we just pop the old one off, unplug it, plug the new one in, and screw it back up. So, yeah, it'll be a pretty easy replacement.
And we are doing that ourselves then?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. Michael, anything?
Nope. I'll move to approve the PO 7854 in the amount of $13,200 to SHI for the upgrade of the county wireless access points in all county locations.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Mike.
Mike.
Next item on the agenda is the Rural Opportunity Zone.
Morning, Commissioners. Darren Myers, County Administrator. A couple items in regards to the Rural Opportunity Zone, or ROZ, for you to consider this morning. As the Commission knows, in the 2024 budget, we plan for 10 spots for ROZ applicants to receive match funding from the state, or from the county with the state. And one of the attachments to this agenda item is the bill that we received from the state. They had only, they received more than 2 applicants. However, not all applications were either approved or have made it through the process yet. So we should still potentially see some here at the end of the year or at the beginning of the year that are in that process that still could be approved. However, they wouldn't be billed for the 2024 calendar year. So with that, there's the bill of $3,000. I just wanted to make sure that the commission at least saw it before I submitted it for payment. And then the second part of that is the state wants the counties to market the ROZ a little bit better and use the marketing of it. We have certain pictures and icons that we should use with different advertisements and stuff to let people know that we are a ROZ county. So with working on our executive staff as well as with HR, we came up with some ideas that were more specific to Ellis County that we could tie that $10,000 grant with in marketing Ellis County itself. And we came up with several bullet points of items to use that funding for. And the first one is working with Nextech to create videos. And I mentioned, or I discussed it with Public Works, EMS, the Sheriff's Office, Fire, and then HR. Each would have a 15 to 30-second video created. The content would be recorded and put together, produced by Nextech, but the content on what is actually being shared would be up to the department heads. And we picked those departments because those are the ones that we usually have the most open positions with, because they're the largest departments, of course. And then the general HR one would be just to share for any open position, whether it's a position within the clerk's office or something else. And then we have pull-up promotional banners. We had a couple ideas when we went down to Finney County and met with their HR department of some things that they used. And they have pull-up banners that Carissa with our staff has created some draft banners that we would work with those same departments. So that way, if we did go out to job fairs, career fairs, or promotional things for the county, that we could easily just transport and pop those up and make Ellis County booth a little bit more attractive, so to speak, as well as a general one, so that way it can just be used. Our idea is upstairs, as you come into the lobby of the admin building, is to have somewhat of a little kiosk there with one of those banners, a little table with some flyers and business cards that can be set out, so that way as people come in and out to pay their taxes, they can see that Ellis County is applying, and either if they need to apply for a job or know somebody that may be interested, they could grab a card and or scan a QR code and get directly to our website and see what Ellis County is about and get them to apply. So I'm going to pass these around. These are two documents that Carissa has created, and the QR codes do work. I'm kind of interested, so I tried, but the business card can sit there, so that way it's an easy thing for individuals to either to take or we can pass out at career fairs. And then the flyer is a list of many different things that Ellis County has to offer and beneficial to an employee that may be interested in working for us. So that's kind of the next several things. I'm sure the commission is aware the Hayes Chamber and the CVB does a community guide for Ellis County and City Hayes. One of the things it can be used for as well is to create an insert, a digital insert, and that has a much larger reach than just Ellis County. They send those all over the state and a couple states outside, and I think they print 20-some thousand of those. So that would be an insert that we would create the content and share that out there as a general come work for Ellis County type ad. And then also work with the chamber, we could put a digital ad on their website of openings within the public. So if anybody's online, they would click that ad and it would take them directly to our website as well. Then the final piece to kind of fill out that $10,000 grant would be to use the leftover funds after all these items that I just mentioned would be used to used for paid advertisement, like on Hayes Post, some more digital advertisement that we can either geofence or spread out as large as we want for open positions. So that all basically can be accomplished with that $10,000 grant. We've already received the check. It's been deposited. Now it's just waiting to be spent. And since we're close to the end of the year and we've had some time to kind of look at all this and put some pricing together, this is the option that we are proposing for you to consider.
Very good. I have a lot of stuff there to put together. So thank you, and to Carissa and Jennifer for working on all that. Any timeline on working on the videos for Public Works, shares, stuff like that?
No, we'll just PO the amount, and actually the amount, they adjusted it down for us. It's several $100s less than that, so we'll be able to use more for marketing on Next Tech next year, or on Hayes Post, I'm sorry. But no, they don't. We'll just PO it out, and if maybe, say, Public Works, if they're not doing much, we might be able to create content over several months through the winter and the spring to capture different things that they're doing, and then create the video later, so that way we have that way we're not rushing anything, and we'll have all of next year to be able to create the videos needed.
Okay, very good. Any comments or concerns?
Good move.
No, I'm glad that we're getting some funding to kind of advertise just our jobs in general. And again, looking at the list, you could say 2 out of 10 that but that's a first step in trying to, get people to move here. And you look at the names here, and they got titles with their names. You got a physical therapist and a doctor. And would they have came here without Roz? Maybe or probably, except, from my standpoint, these are probably people that have big debts with the titles that they have. And so being able to help them a little bit and help them in a way ingrain themselves here locally, if that means this month they don't have to pay their student loans, and so they can go out and be out on the town a little bit and meet people. To me, that's kind of the goal, is to get people here, move here, help them out with some of their monthly bills in a way by not having to pay a student loan debt, and hopefully keep them here. So to me, this is the right steps. Hopefully get a few more and just kind of continue to get the ball rolling. So advertising and the grant that we got from the state, I appreciate it.
Okay,
Sounds good. We will proceed through with those items.
sounds good. Thank you, Darren. Okay. Last topic is our county commission meeting date change for our first meeting next month.
Yes, sir. December 3rd, Tuesday, is the first meeting in December, and as the commission knows, that Monday night, the day before the regularly scheduled meeting, we all will be heading to Wichita for the Kansas Association of Counties Conference. So with that, we're just asking the commission move the Tuesday meeting from the 3rd back to Monday on the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. So that way we can have the regularly scheduled meeting, and then it still would coincide with the clerk's office voucher schedule that is with the first and the third commission meeting every week, or every month. So that way the commission could still, even if there's nothing else on the agenda, you can still approve vouchers and schedules and anything else that would be on the consent agenda.
Okay. Any discussion on this, gentlemen?
Nope. Yeah, so I'll move to approve moving the December 3rd Ellis County Commission meeting from December 3rd to December 2nd at 8:30 a.m. in the Ellis County Commission chambers.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, date has changed. With that, we'll move on to our county administrator report.
Two quick things. As the commission knows, I joked around about it for 6-8 months, that once it was time to actually move Public Works to the new facility, that it would be raining. And we got inch and a half of rain throughout the county yesterday, so I've visited with Brendan. Even though it's going to be a tough time moving when they're closed this Wednesday and Thursday, they're still going to keep as much of their equipment out on the roads as necessary that can still blade and plow roads, and try to stay on top of that while we have the moisture in the ground. So they will be, I think, well, they've already started to move, but the next Wednesday, Thursday, they will be closed, and part of them will be moving. So exciting time for them. However, once they actually get there, I'm not sure how exciting that'll be to unpack and repack and move everything, and then try to remember where everything's at when they're looking for something. But as well as they started yesterday with the new radio project out of Public Works, and planning ahead with Public Works. They actually brought their graders in yesterday morning because of the rain, and had the radios installed with them, so that way they could actually be out back plowing roads and doing the work out there. But they had, I think it was about 50 some pieces of equipment to install radios in, so that they're planning on being here all week. So it's kind of complicates the process of installing the radios, working the roads, and moving into a whole new facility. So progress.
With that radio installation, will there be a base station at the Public Works facility for administration and that way to keep those people in the loop of what's going on?
There'll be both portables that they can use in their offices, as well as we have a shop radio identified, so that way if somebody breaks down, they can communicate with the shop in the actual facility. But also there'll be the tire truck, the mechanic truck, the weld truck, they'll all have mobile radios in, which is the same as a base radio, so that way they can communicate. But it's pretty, most of the pickups, the semis, the graders, dump trucks, fuel trucks, supervisors' trucks, there's about 15 to 20 portable radios that they can use for flagging. So it's trying to get the system down for the numbering and the coding of all the radios was a challenge, but we were out there for several hours yesterday trying to get that squared away with them, but they're still moving on.
Okay, and these radios, in the case of an emergency, they'll be able to dial in and be dispatched by command post, by fire command?
Correct. So when we first started the planning for the radio channels, it was just to have one channel, so that way we could communicate with them. However, once they assessed the situation a little bit more and overall day-to-day operations of the radios, we actually got them assigned 3 new radio channels. So that way, if there's a flagging operation going on in the west part of the county, they can be on a separate channel and not be overtaken. And then if there's some people on a fire, they could be on another channel, but then they could still have their normal operations on another channel. But yeah, all the fire radios have their Public Works channel in them, so that we can communicate with them on the scene.
Okay. And I guess this is a question for you, Brendan. Are we going to provide some training for, verbiage and how to properly use these radios and talk on these radios?
Yeah, we sure could. Brendan and I talked about after they actually get moved in next, or I guess it's this month now. Once they get into their new meeting, I was going to go out to one of their staff meetings when they bring everybody in, and that could be a topic that I can throw on the agenda to visit with all of them next month.
Because there's going to be some standardization of terms, more or less, on the radio communication, I would think.
There's a lot of flexibility with them.
Brendan, come on up. We're talking about you, so you may as well come up.
So with that, like Darren's saying, firefighters will have access to a public works channel, so we won't be able to directly talk to the fire chiefs or section chief. They'll be able to talk to us, and we'll be able to relay that information unless we're handed a handheld on scene to communicate directly with the fire department. But with that said about how to talk on the radio, all of our employees take the ICS 100 and 700, which is the entry-level courses for incident command structure, for a FEMA disaster or large event, which is the same thing way they set up their fire calls and everything. So all of our staff has had the training for the who, what, where, why, when. So it should be pretty easy to transfer over.
Okay. Very
They're
good.
easy to use. I mean,
Right.
they will have the weather channel, so that way if there's severe weather going on, they can listen to us. That's an open channel for all of the public to hear. So that's another added benefit, that they'll be more weather aware during those events as well.
Okay.
Biggest change for us is the radio numbers. The radio numbers that we used currently for our VHF system will not work with the incident command structure system. So everyone's getting new numbers, and it'll take a little bit of time for the guys to remember. And everyone gets a printout every year, and all new hires get a printout of employees' names and their radio numbers. So we'll just update those documents that way. Someone that was number 7 before is now going to be maybe 107, or they might be 171. Just a new number for them to recall, but that way it's standardized across the county and across the state.
Okay.
It'll be a little bit of a challenge, but
It'll be a learning curve.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good.
Darren, when I was looking at the jobs thing, we have the job for Ellis County Health Director posted now. Do you want to
Correct.
give a little bit of update on that, and
we've
other than we've
received.
got it posted?
Yep, we've received 5 applicants. The 5th one was yesterday. I
Okay.
kind of remember the name, but I don't remember it for sure. But I have not logged on to actually look at the resume or anything yet.
Okay.
And I can give the commission an update. I have the 4 resumes that we do have, just not that 5th one printed out yet, because I haven't logged in to look at it. But nothing to the point yet of setting up any interviews or anything. Unfortunately, Jennifer's got COVID, so might delay anything this week, getting something done. But
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
I
Anything
just-
else from you, Darren? Any other? Okay.
I do have one question on, now that we're moving from an old building to a new building, how our insurance works. Would it be wise or a good idea to video everything when we take it in up there? That, not that I'm bad mouthing our insurance, but we would know what our contents are and kind of a,
so there's several things. IT is putting in cameras.
Okay.
They ran the cable. I don't think the actual devices are installed yet, so they're working on that, but they'll be focused on getting the network and the computers up and going. K-Camp will actually be out to do an appraisal. They'll have a
Okay.
third-party appraisal service come out. They won't just look at our plans, but they'll actually be out to look at the building and take pictures. Currently, all staff for all departments are working on the CIC asset inventory list, and we've had a lot of communications, and we're actually going to talk about it a little bit more on Thursday.
Okay.
We have an asset list that lists anything of $2,500 or greater, or multiple items that value at least $2,500 or more together. And department heads, and you'll see that every year as a commissioner, but they're working to completely revamp and make sure that their lists are actually accurate. As the commission knows, the fairgrounds and the communications department had never been in there. That was identified last year. They have got that done, so that'll be in your agenda packet here within a month in January, I think, for approval. So that ties our asset piece to the contents that are valued within the building, because there's, you for the insurance, you pay for the building, and then you have a contents valuation as part of it.
okay. Just a question about it. I know they got cameras there, but if a disaster comes through, just so we would have something that, and like you say, the contents, but we kind of know what we've got.
Yeah, they should be working to, well, they are working, all the departments are working on that asset inventory list currently.
Very
We're-
good.
Like I said, we're gonna talk about it a little bit more, because there was a little confusion on what was to be reported. And our asset inventory policy actually needs to be updated, which is kind of a winter project that I hope to get done.
Okay.
Won't really change much for what they're doing. The intent will still be there. That content does need to be recorded.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, County Commissioner reports. Commissioner Burgess.
Yeah, kind of had a busy month. As Mike alluded to, I did a department visit with Mike and the IT department, as well as a department visit with Eugene and the county appraiser's office. And I know tax statements have hit everybody's mailbox. And just a reminder that Eugene and his staff are going to answer any questions. They're very good. So any concerns with if your tax statements or why you're assessed or taxed at whatever, don't feel worried about going and talking to Eugene and have him explain it to you. I also was a judge for the Young Entrepreneurs Challenge here in Hayes at the Fort Hayes. The students from Ellis, TMP Hayes, and Victoria competed with their business ideas. Very, very fun event, listening to their business ideas in high school. And I mean, it was pretty encouraging of what they're coming up with. Some of them, I think, could start tomorrow and be successful. I spoke, this is more for my regular job, but I did speak at the Child Care Task Force as a speaker, and we talked about taxes. That was the number one thing, so it certainly fell in line with my role as a county commissioner. Then I attended the Ellis City Council last evening. Along with that, I'll wish Hayes High, and I believe Victoria as well, good luck in their semifinals this Friday. Let's get to state championship matches, and then Fort Hayes men's soccer made the national tournament, so I wish them good luck this Friday as well.
Very good. Commissioner Younger.
Yes, and like I say, good thing for our local schools for where they're headed to, and hopefully they can keep continuing. I do want to congratulate Mr. Burgess on his accomplishment on the director. So, then I also attended the cross manufacturing ribbon cutting, which was 75 years. You know, one of the cross people was there, and it was a generational thing, and I thanked him. You know, 75 years, they put a lot of tax dollars into our community. They had a good turnout. And then I also did go to the Sip and Spin, which they had 30 years, and they were doing a fundraiser for Alzheimer's this past weekend here. And you know, again, 30 years, those two together, there's a lot of dollars generated. So I did thank them, and then I attended the RPM Speedway banquet, and Chris talked highly of all of us, so what we're doing and what we're going to do. And then also I would like to put a happy birthday out there for Isaac Hook with Public Works. And then also I did yesterday go to they call it city, kind of more Hayes water meeting, which was interesting. And I did bring up the thing of they're just kind of educating the kids right here at 489. I asked if they couldn't get Victoria, you know, Ellis, all the other ones. It was very, very educational for the children to see what the future is going to bring in our water, which is going to be a big commodity. So I'm going to try to help Stacy out on that, because she asked if I could get her into some of the schools. So we'll see if we can't do that and get them educated. And then I also just have one other thing goes to Darren. How is our side-by-side that we had got from the K-State thing? How's that coming along?
Sorry, I was going to give an update
Oh.
next month at the commission
Okay.
meeting, just to give some recognition. Over the last couple weeks, we've had the Schmidt Foundation, which I'll have an agenda item in December. The Schmidt Foundation sponsored, so to speak, our Ellis County Fire Department annual meeting, which was November the 7th, the 6th or the 7th. They paid for the food, and then they gave us a donation of $10,000 for the help of the fire department back in April for a fire that was started on the Sweetwater Ranch. And then at that meeting, one of the Simpson Farm Enterprise, was a local business here in town. They found out that we were upfitting this UTV, and they have since donated a pump. And I need to go down. They gave us some brochures for the water tank for the UTV. So need to get that. So we got most of that paid for. And then the Buckeye Wind Farm, which will also be on next month, they gave us, and One Oak, between the two of them was another $2,000. So we able to get that UTV essentially updated at no cost to Ellis County and paid for the new mate with that money too. Kind of helps offset that money that we paid for the new motor. And then the other piece to that was Midwest Energy also gave us another $1,000, and we bought Wild and Fire gloves for all the firefighters. So several things will be included into that agenda next week, but kind of going to try to wrap that up, get everything purchased here by the end of the year, and then hopefully, well, Gary left already, but that'll give them some flexibility over the winter months as time allows for them to upfit with the pump and the tank and everything, and get it up and going.
Okay. I guess one other thing, if, next week, Tuesday, we have the special meeting and, public's invited, so come on in. If not, everybody have a safe, happy Thanksgiving, and if you have to travel, have safe travel.
Okay. For my report, I'd like to mention that the three of us commissioners were all here yesterday for the canvass and to certify the vote. I'd like to thank Bobby and her staff for putting on a good election and doing that and highlighting that all the work that they put into it. So thank you and your staff and all the volunteers who helped work the polls. So we certified the election yesterday, so it's official. So and everybody who won will be sworn in January, not yesterday. So with that, yes, we do have a work session coming next week, Tuesday morning. That will not be, it will not be televised or publicized. It'll be open to the public, but it will not be on the internet. So anybody that wishes to come is invited, but it will be here in the commission chambers at 8:30. So,
Next door.
oh, it will be next door.
That way
Okay.
everybody can sit together and
Okay. Okay.
And I do want to say with, the election that when I went and voted, the poll workers that she has are very experienced because they quizzed me, did you park a long ways away? Because they knew I had signs on my truck. So we've got some good poll workers. Thank them. I mean, they did an excellent job, and they have an excellent teacher, so.
Okay. With that, we'll adjourn the meeting at 9:22.